Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with a fire near a popular downtown dog park just off Laurier and Bronson Avenue. Flames ripping through part of that park earlier tonight. Loud popping could be heard in this viewer video. A little later in that video as tall flames danced around the area near the Tech Wall Dog Park. Ottawa Fire Services says it started as a tent fire and the explosions were caused by butane canisters. The fire was spotted at around 8:30 as thick plumes of black smoke filled the air. No injuries have been reported, and people in the area say the fire crews acted fast to get the situation under control. And one person has been rescued from a fire in an Orleans neighborhood. Firefighters were called to a home on Castle Pines Way in the Chapel Hill area just before 5 p.m. One home is badly damaged. Both homes actually looks like they sustained damage. Officials say an elderly man was rescued from one of the homes and treated at the scene for smoke inhalation. A firefighter was also assessed for heat-related issues. The blaze was escalated to a second alarm, calling more crews to the scene. Well, exactly 1 week after a record-breaking rainstorm hit the capital, affected residents are desperate for help, especially when it comes to getting rid of rotting garbage, spoiled food, and contaminated debris. It's all sitting outside homes, and many are worried the cleanup delay is becoming a public health concern. CTV's Katelyn Wilson has that story.
This is green bin. This is containers. This house has been out of power since July 1st.
Rotting garbage lines the curb of this home in Crystal Beach where residents say patience is running out. Piles of debris, some contaminated with sewage, are still sitting outside a week after record-breaking rainfall caused flash floods, destroying thousands of basements.
We have had to ask them, where are you? Come out. And that is the disappointment for us as taxpayers.
Residents say the smell is awful, communication unclear, and they're worried it's becoming more than a collection issue.
It's also becoming a biohazard. In the heat, a lot of rotted food, articles that are covered with sewage. It needs to be removed.
And with cleanup slow, they say people are coming through, picking up items like toys and furniture.
It's not a good idea to take items, even if they look like they might be okay. If they're being discarded for a reason, and that's because people know that they're not going to be salvageable.
The city is sending out extra trucks to pick up the garbage, but councillor Theresa Kavanagh says there are not enough resources to clear the sheer volume of debris quickly.
The truck comes and they pick up maybe 2 households full of, and they have to leave. So, but we were worried about the green bin content, and they're trying to get that done as well. So I know it's frustrating.
Meanwhile, local MPP Chandra Pasma is calling on the province to step in and help.
The Premier is making vague commitments of support, but there's been literally no actual tangible support offered to the City of Ottawa. We need people here to help with the garbage cleanup, to help with emptying out houses. It's very clear after a week that the city cannot manage this on its own.
According to the mayor, the city and province are working together to ensure affected residents will be able to apply for provincial compensation, with the Ontario government promising more details soon. But after a week of waiting, residents say the toll is not just physical, but emotional.
Everybody's mental health is severely impacted. Like it's like we're in Hurricane Katrina and we feel abandoned.
Katelyn Wilson, CTV News.
And we are getting a sense of just how much damage the Canada Day storm caused. New numbers from the city show more than 700 tons of storm waste was delivered to the Trail Waste Facility as of 3 p.m. this afternoon. The city says it also received more than 5,500 service requests related to the flooding. A second round of storm waste collection begins Monday, July 13th in all impacted wards. Meantime, there is a positive update to a story we brought you yesterday. A 90-year-old who says he was initially denied coverage after his basement flooded now says his insurer will cover the damage. Bill Sanziuk says he's been in contact with Intact Insurance for more than 60 years. He's been a client. He says he was told over the phone nothing would be covered, but shortly after CTV News Ottawa contacted the company, they told him That would no longer be the case. An appraiser was sent to his house this morning. Well, another potential layer of protection for tenants is now closer to becoming a reality. Councillors on a city committee voting to move forward with a renovation bylaw today that would help prevent landlords from forcing tenants out under the guise of major renovations to raise the rent. Here's CTV's Leah Larocque.
Nelda Giroux says she spent 2 years fighting being evicted from her apartment.
I never thought I'd go through this because, like, I'm retired. I'm 74 years old.
Her landlord wanted to renovate and then raise the rent.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to afford a new place, not with the prices of groceries and everything is going up.
She won her fight, but knows others don't.
I'm also fighting for you. For you.
She was one of nearly 30 delegates who spoke to councillors about a new proposed bylaw that would make it harder for landlords to evict tenants in order to do renovations.
I still live in fear that my landlord can still try to rent-evict me again. The renovation bylaws that you guys are considering today, and it gives me a lot of hope that I might be protected from a bad faith eviction in the future.
But there is already provincial legislation against bad faith evictions. And opponents to a municipal bylaw says the city doesn't need one, saying it would overlap and add bureaucratic red tape and delays.
The now strengthened provincial regime risks overlapping requirements, unnecessary administrative complexity, and an uncertainty about enforcement responsibilities.
But the city's proposed bylaw does add other protections, including a license and permit requirement for landlords before an eviction notice, as well as an education guide to tenants.
If you have to wait an additional month to get your permit from the city so that you can actually go in and apply to the N13 to do your renovation, that's a month lost. Time is money.
Dissent. No dissents. One dissent from Councillor Lowe.
After hours of debate, councillors voting yes.
We're going to be calling the bluff of bad actors who might be evicting people just to jack up the rent and paint the walls. If you're doing a renovation that's significant enough to require a permit, then all you need to do is show your permit.
The bylaw still needs approval from council. Leah Larocque, CTV News.
Another hot and humid day here in the nation's capital. What's in store? We go to Jackie for that.
Well, after a hot, humid, and sunny day in the capital, things are going to slightly change for our Thursday. Take a look at this first thing in the morning, mainly cloudy skies for Ottawa. There could be a little bit of sunshine in Brockville, but this weather system moving along the valley, that will be our first round of rain that is expected to move through the region. So by 11 a.m., we could see some light rain moving through, a risk of thunderstorm by Pembroke. And then by the afternoon, we see some isolated showers popping up, a risk of thunderstorm as well along the Seaway. The good news is this could clear by 8 p.m. and I know it is Bluesfest opening night, so if you are getting out there, make sure to bring some rain gear to keep you nice and dry. Temperature-wise, about 24 degrees, 26 is the daytime high. This will be between noon and 4 p.m. Things are going to start to cool to about 21, but it's going to feel quite muggy, quite wet, with temperatures feeling more about 25 by the time the evening rolls around.
An Ottawa police officer is facing charges for allegedly driving while impaired. According to the service, the off-duty incident happened last month. No other details were released. Constable Mathieu Bouchard is still on active duty, but is currently limited to an administrative role. Meantime, a Gatineau police officer has been charged in connection with an alleged assault. 51-year-old Stéphane Lizotte was arrested on Sunday. He was off duty at the time of the alleged incident. He's facing charges of armed assault causing bodily harm. Gatineau police say he had already been suspended with pay following charges laid against him in a separate investigation. And a petition is calling on the federal government to stop funding Stornoway as a private residence for the leader of the official opposition. The petition was launched by a BC resident and sponsored by Green Party leader Elizabeth May. Stornoway is located on Acacia Avenue in Ottawa's Rockcliffe Park neighborhood. According to a 2021 report, it needs more than $1 million in maintenance over the next 10 years. The petition, which has 15,000 signatures, says cutting the funding could be a cost-saving measure for the government. Meantime, protests continue over the federal government's return to office mandate for public servants. Most federal workers are now required to be in the office 4 days a week. Members of the Professional Institute of the Public Service staged a demonstration today. The union says workers face overcrowded offices in outdated buildings. The Treasury Board says in-office work increases performance and builds stronger teams. And there's a major development in the strike by Bank of Canada security officers. The bank has been ordered to stop using replacement workers during the labor dispute. Security workers walked off the job in June after the union and government failed to reach a new collective agreement. The bank then brought in contracted workers, which the Canada Industrial Relations Board says contravenes a law that was passed in 2024, which bans federally regulated workplaces from bringing in replacements during a strike. In a statement, Union President Sharon D'Souza calls the ruling a major victory, saying it, quote, shows that no employer, even the Prime Minister's former employer, is above the law. The bank says it will comply with the ruling as soon as it can ensure the required level of security. Atletico Ottawa playing in Laval tonight. They're taking on Supra du Québec in the first leg of the Canadian Championship quarterfinal.
Count up the red and white shirts in the box. There's 5 of them. Timoteo answers himself.
A goal in the late stages for Atletico to ease some of the pain, but this is still a loss for Ottawa. Supra du Québec wins this one 3-1. Ottawa plays next in Toronto on Friday the 17th. And a programming note, we will have live FIFA World Cup coverage of the France-Morocco game tomorrow afternoon on CTV. Now that means you can take in the action right here on CTV. CTV News at 6 will be on ctvnewsottawa.ca right at 6 p.m. And the CTV News at 6 broadcast will air right here on CTV Ottawa immediately following the match. And you can always keep up to date with us at ctvnewsottawa.ca and on the CTV News app.
I encourage people to go on and check out, the whole lineup on a day if they're thinking of coming down.
Still ahead, preparing for Bluesfest, what you need to know about the summer highlight when we come back. There's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It is 24 degrees out there right now, pretty warm for this time of night, and final preparations are underway for Bluesfest because it is that time of year. Tens of thousands of fans are expected to pack LeBreton Flats over 11 nights to take in chart-topping headliners and homegrown talent. CTV's Kimberley Fowler got a sneak peek before the gates officially open tomorrow night.
The finishing touches are coming together for the capital's marquee music event of the summer. Ottawa Bluesfest is back for its 32nd year.
If you got a chance, take it.
For 11 nights, LeBreton Flats hosts an eclectic lineup for all music lovers, kicking off Thursday night with country music star Cody Johnson. Then on Friday, a big crowd is expected for Cypress Hill
Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin.
and Limp Bizkit.
We make sure that there's ways for people to get around here, lots of help in terms of security. We've got 6 large screens throughout the whole main bowl. The street is open and closed, so there's all kinds of areas where you can sit.
I belong, you belong in my sweet home.
The Lumineers headline Bluesfest Chio Night on Sunday with a fundraiser during the day to benefit the Children's Hospital.
We're going to be doing an auction for the best seats in the house. We're going to be donating all of the proceeds from the tips at all the beer tents to Chio. So we're hoping to raise as much money as we can that night.
New to Bluesfest this year, these bleachers for those who want to sit back and enjoy the show. Plus, we've got the Bluesfest Motel. July 17th is expected to be one of the busiest nights with headliner Ella Langley.
He's choosing Texas, I can tell.
The country star has topped Billboard's Hot 100 for 12 straight weeks. Also on the main stage that night, the Quebec duo blowing up across the globe.
On that night as well, we've got Angine de Poitrine and Sheryl Crow. And we moved them onto the main stage because we feel that a lot of people are going to want to see them.
Bluesfest is also celebrating the city's bicentennial with free programming during the day and wrapping up with a special Ottawa 200 concert on July 19th. Featuring the Sheepdogs, Connor Price, and the Guess Who. Kimberley Fowler, CTV News.
Man, that song by the Guess Who always makes me think of Superbad. And if you know what I'm talking about, then I won't elaborate anymore. But it's going to be a wet start to Bluesfest. Is that right, Jackie?
Well, temperatures for our overnight 19 degrees. It will feel still quite humid, which will linger into tomorrow morning. The anticipated daytime high 26 degrees, but at times around 2 o'clock specifically, the humidex levels will feel closer to 34. There isn't much in terms of wind moving through, mainly calm in the morning, and then the afternoon it will be not much for a light breeze. But tonight's lows across eastern Ontario, so along the Seaway, 19-20 degrees, about 18 in Kittigan-Zibi, and very similar for Maniwaki, about 19 in Kemptville, as well as 18 in Mont-Tremblant. Daytime highs will be very similar to what we are seeing today, especially along the Seaway, about 28 degrees, 23 in Pembroke and Bancroft, but you can already see this pocket of cooler air moving in, so it won't be quite as warm in parts of the valley. However, it is still going to be feeling hot and muggy as we get to the end of the work week. Yes, temperatures will maintain about 27 degrees. The chance of rain could be lingering for our Friday morning, but by the time the evening rolls around into Saturday and Sunday, lots of sunshine is in store and clear skies, so we can say goodbye to the rain after Thursday likely. Again, the temperatures will be hovering between 27 and 28 degrees, and early next week, early forecast is showing 33 degrees at the daytime high.
We are hearing tonight from the newest member of the Toronto Maple Leafs organization, former longtime Sens captain Daniel Alfredsson, speaking from Sweden, acknowledging the, quote, interesting day that shocked fans as he makes a move from Ottawa's team to their least liked rival. For Alfredsson, this is a step up from his assistant coaching role here in Ottawa, and he says he knew he wasn't staying in the capital after his contract expired in June. Again, speaking from his home in Sweden, Alfredsson revealing he actually interviewed for the Maple Leafs head coaching position before they ultimately decided to hire Jim Hiller for that role. The Leafs then circled back, and Alfredsson jumped on the chance to expand his coaching career as an associate coach. Today, he thanked Sens owner Michael Andlauer, general manager Steve Staios, and the rest of Ottawa's coaching staff.
I've learned a ton from you guys, and keep up the good work and what you started there. Also to the Ottawa fans, love you as always. Thank you. I understand this is a interesting day. But also an exciting chapter for me as I expand my coaching career. And
Alfredsson adds he knew he'd have to move on from the Sens when he decided to get into coaching, saying, quote, I have to earn my way and get my experience.
Things change. You can't get nostalgic for everything.
Smiths Falls could soon lose a part of its history, why councillors are recommending the historic water tower be demolished. For more than a century, it has been one of Smiths Falls' most visible landmarks, but now the town's historic water tower is one step closer to being demolished. The old water tower is located in Centennial Park along the shores of the Rideau Canal, and while the town's councillors looked at preserving in the 1920s infrastructure, they say it's just not worth it. Here's CTV's Tyler Fleming.
Turn any corner in Smiths Falls and there's a good chance you'll see it. The old water tower has stood over the town for more than 100 years. Bob McGrath grew up here, and while he's not about to kiss and tell, he remembers it as a popular meeting spot back in the day.
That's where, as teenagers, where we all parked our cars and made out with the girls.
This is a landmark that's been here as long as I can remember.
In Centennial Park along the Rideau Canal, the water tower, built in 1924, had long served the town's needs, but now it's likely coming down. It's no longer in service, it's rusted, it leaks, and in late June, a council committee recommended demolition instead of preservation, saying it was a difficult decision, but an important one.
It's a shame to see it go, but times are changing.
Now, demolition is expected to cost about $375,000, while rehabilitation was estimated at more than $2.4 million.
I think there's better uses for the taxpayers' money than repairing an old tower.
Late last year, a new water tower took over with 6 times the capacity to meet the community's growing needs.
$13 million project on the other side of town with a new water tower and a trunk line going into it. That's the investment for the next 100 years.
The tower's fate rests with a final vote from town council, and for now, there's no timeline on when the old landmark could disappear from the sky.
Things change. You can't get nostalgic for everything.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News, Smiths Falls.
Ontarians have been waiting for the results of this investigation because they need to know what happened. They need to know if they can trust Doug Ford.
Still ahead, Ontario's official opposition is marking 1,000 days since the start of the RCMP's investigation into the Greenbelt scandal. It has been 1,000 days since the RCMP launched an investigation into the Ford government's Greenbelt scandal. The official opposition marking the occasion as the probe continues into what developers knew about the province's plans to remove land from the protected area. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has the details.
We can really fit 1,000 candles.
1,000 to mark the number of days so far in an RCMP investigation into the Greenbelt. The probe launched in October 2023, looking into whether developers may have been tipped off. Land was about to be taken out of the protected zone.
Ontarians have been waiting for the results of this investigation because they need to know what happened. They need to know if they can trust Doug Ford.
The Premier apologized and returned land to the Greenbelt, but only after months of public pressure. 2 damning reports from Queen's Park watchdogs, and the departure of 2 cabinet ministers and 2 staffers. The government has said they're cooperating with the Mounties.
Every agency that's ever asked, it's all been transparent. We've given them everything they need.
Today, the RCMP says their sensitive and international investigations unit is still conducting an investigation. A spokesperson adds they won't be sharing more information so as not to compromise that work. That clampdown makes sense to this former Toronto police detective.
This investigation could have potentially dramatic impact on the government and on the people of the province of Ontario. So it's incumbent on the RCMP to make sure they get it right the first time.
Mendelson explains this investigation is complicated, multi-layered, with people inside and outside Queen's Park to look at.
You have government-issued cell phones, you have privately used cell phones. All of these things, in terms of extracting information from them, take time because not everybody's giving them up voluntarily.
The Premier has tried to push past the scandal and refocus on the economy.
That's something that happened years ago that doesn't even show up on our radar on polling.
His track record since then shows that he has learned nothing at all.
With opposition parties drawing connections between the Greenbelt and the Skills Development Fund, Science Centre shut down, and push to expand Toronto's Island Airport.
It's all the usual suspects. They know the government. They're friends of the government. They donate to the PC party.
An Integrity Commissioner's report on distribution of Skills Development Fund cash is expected in the coming months. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A local dancer chasing her dreams all the way to the World Cup stage. We'll share the details right after the break. One last live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is still 24 degrees out there right now. The rain, unfortunately, is on its way for the first day of Bluesfest. Jackie.
All right, tomorrow morning, already starting off quite warm at 21 degrees. Factor in that humidix level, it's going to feel closer to 28. It will be cloudy, not much in terms of the winds, so we will have that muggy weather sticking around. The daytime high, 26 degrees. Pack the umbrella because we will have periods of rain, and at times there could be a chance of some thunderstorm risk as well. So keeping a close eye on this. Friday, yes, early chance of showers in the morning, but by the afternoon, early evening, clear skies. This will maintain for our Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you, Jackie. And finally for us tonight, a local dancer is chasing her dreams all the way to the World Cup stage.
A little nervous, definitely. It's definitely like there's going to be billions of views.
Megan Mukamba and a group of others, they posted a video to Shakira's song, and it caught the attention of that singer. Now, they've been invited down to New Jersey. They're going to be trying out, and they will be performing, helping out with Shakira's performance in the tournament's finale on the 19th. Talk about the biggest stage in the world. I wonder what's bigger, the Super Bowl halftime show or the finale at the FIFA World Cup. Either way, congratulations to you, Megan, and thank everyone else for watching. Good night.